shout out to you guys for tuning in. If you're watching.
Hello, everybody, from Arlo White in the Live Broadcast Studio, and welcome to highlights of another excellent day's golf on Super Saturday in Greenbrier. Now, Live Golf history was made by this man, the high flyers Brendan Steele. This is his second shot at the par 5 17th. In it goes, the first albatross in league history, and it's Brendan Steele who is all smiles. Cam Smith teed off at 18 today. He made a par there, then proceeded to card a 27 over the front 9 holes to briefly take the lead. This was his third at 12. An eagle for Cam there, but he was overall level par through his last 8 holes and his 3 off the lead. Brooks Koepka is seeking a 5th Live Golf title. No other man has more than 3. A pair of 64s for Brooks. He's 12 under par. That was his birdie putt at 18. But today was all about Jon Rahm, who is hunting a second straight win in the Live Golf League after his first victory at the JCB in the UK, and he's also hunting down Wako Neiman for the overall title of Live Golf League champion for 2024. A remarkable round of 62 today for Jon Rahm. That was his second into 17. This is his tee shot at 18. And you wouldn't bet against Jon Rahm going back-to-back and taking a lead into the final regular season event in Chicago in 3 weeks' time, seeking a first prize of $18 million. And he rounded things off superbly with a birdie putt at the first. An 8 under par 62 today. Jon Rahm will take a 2-stroke lead into Championship Sunday. Ripper lead the team comp by 1.
Has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, the broken, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags for breaking traffic, some kind of fashion shake-up, along with the mayor of Miami again. Joe Ranieri today on C2C Love and Life, the rundown on a Terrible Towel Tuesday, a double shot from Morency this very hour from Vancouver. Look at that shot of Craig Scoop Mish at Dodger Stadium, clearly copping Rays, the Fifth Estate. Later, Clarence Hill from the Supreme Court, and in his side hustle, the Fort Worth Star Telegram writer. And then, of course, from Vegas, later in the final hour, my friend Kenny White, who has a massive gambling problem as well. It should be a terrific show. I'm watching tennis at the U.S. Open, which has come on. And I was telling Granny, I said, I have to relive it the same way I told her. I went like this. I go, that's John McEnroe calling the game. What? John McEnroe. Who? John McEnroe. Oh, he had a temper. That's what she said to me. And I said, he's the analyst. She said, what do you mean? I said, never mind, Granny. You want another glass of wine? So I'm watching this guy, Sinner, right? The number 1 seed from Italy. Can you explain to me, Joe, how this guy can fail drug tests and keep playing, but everyone else that fails them gets banned for a year and sometimes 2 years from tennis? But I guess when you're one of the best players in the world, you can do whatever you want, it seems like to me. How is this guy getting away with this? I heard all this rhetoric I could take yesterday from Fowler saying, and it's not his fault, but he was saying, oh, it was 1/100th of a 1 millionth of a 10 millionth of a 20 billionth of a 100 billionth. And I was like, what? I said, he failed the test twice. How is he playing tennis and he's the number 1 seed, Joe?
There seems to be a different set of rules for certain players, Scotty, in tennis. It seems to have evolved that way over the years. Poor Novak a couple of years ago couldn't get out of Australia. They wouldn't let him in. They wouldn't let him out. They wouldn't let him go anywhere. But this guy fails tests left and right. But, hey, come to the U.S. Open. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it was just a big misunderstanding, the gummies you took.
I mean, honestly, I like watching the U.S. Open. I told you that yesterday. I think it's badass. I have been inebriated at the U.S. Open. I pulled the day-night doubleheader for the, and I've been there at 2 a.m, when the matches end and people stream out of there just wasted. And then half of them go to New York City and keep going for 2 more hours. All I know is I think 12 major winners, 12, 8 women, 4 men, all playing today at Queens at the U.S. Open, all in action today. That's a pretty heady day of great tennis players.
Scott, what was more fun to you, going to the U.S. Open tennis or going to a golf tournament? Because they both have a whole lot of alcohol, a whole lot of inebriated people falling all over the place. Which one to you is more fun, going to the waste management or going to the U.S. Open in tennis?
All right, so I've been to tons of golf tournaments. PGA. Right. I've been to majors. I've been to the only thing I haven't been to, which is my favorite, is the Open Championship in in Scotland and in the UK, wherever the British Open was when I was growing up. I never went. I want to go.
Right.
That's one of my bucket lists, to go to that. But I've been to every golf tournament known to man in this country, including I've been to Hawaii. I've seen the Sony. I've been to everything. I think golf fans are we live? Can I say pricks? No. Don't say.
No.
Okay. They're just very stuck up people. And then, no. Okay. They're saying some things and my red phone's ringing, something. Anyway, tennis fans are, they want to get laid. Are we on still? No. Tennis is more fun. If you go to the U.S. Open, everyone there is looking to do something bad. They want to drink. They want to cheat on their husbands. People you don't even know, you end up in a hotel room with. I mean, it is. It's like, drinking, eating, sex, rock and roll. It's all happening. People like smoking giant bones right in the tennis center, in the Arthur Ashe center court. I'm sitting there up in the upper deck. People, passing them around like they were tickets. I'm telling you, you never see that at golf tournaments. Everyone at golf tournaments is stuck up and stuffy and rich, and they think they're better than you. Everyone at tennis is getting hammered, and they might want to sleep with you. I think tennis is the answer.
Well, Miami Open, here I come, Scotty. Right. You just convinced me. I'll be heading down this year. Outstanding. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I think it's actually terrific. And I've been watching it ever since it started yesterday. Last night, how about the Royals doubleheader sweep? I couldn't have been more wrong about Allen. He got lit up. Salvi with 6 RBIs and a G-spot, the Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's. Can you believe where they are now? If they win tonight, they're tied for first in the Central.
Just like that, Scotty. And there's a good, we'll have the Central winner, and there's a good chance we're going to have not one, but 2 teams from the Central in the playoffs, which is just mind-numbing. It truly is. But the Guardians are in trouble, Scotty. Big trouble, I think, down the stretch here.
And then the Phillies outlasted the Braves, got that wrong. Went for it with the Stros. And then, just to make it a perfect trifecta of failure, I had the Twins and Bailey over last night at Target, and the Braves racked him up for 9 runs.
Yeah, no, it was not a good night there. I was praying that the rain would continue. They'd have to cancel the game after the second inning. I'm like, well, they got to cancel it, restart this thing over. But they eventually got back to it, and it didn't work out well for Bailey Ober and the Twins for sure.
Did you see the sky? Did you see that that red sky after that game?
Yep.
What was that all about? I've never, I went there
Freaky.
once, right? I went to Minnesota once. I was offered a job there. I was offered a job there to do K-Fan Radio, and which is a big station. That's the home of the Vikings and everything. And it is a great station, and they're great people. But they took me there. What is it called? The land of 10,000 lakes and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think of the whole time I was there was they get 5 million feet of snow every year, and it's freezing ass. Then I at nighttime I'm there and I'm chilling the most, and they take me out drinking and dinner, and it was sunny out at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, I'm like,
crazy.
What is happening here? Is there not nighttime here? And they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, the summers it goes down at like midnight. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I can't. There's no way to live. No nighttime. I go, I do bad things at night. I can't be here exposed in the sunlight all the time. How am I going to be a criminal and do bad things? And you know what I mean? It's just, I've never gone back ever. And I don't root for any of their teams ever. I just wanted to say that. It's final roster cut day in the NFL. We're going to talk about that. Kadarius Toney done in Kansas City. Billy Zappi gone. Caitlin Clark we'll talk about. Connor Stallions we're going to talk about today. He denies everything. Imagine that.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
Play. That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the hockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
Morency is on every night, Sports Race 10 East, along all of our outlets, all the TV stations, all the streaming networks, all the new TVs that have SportsGrid, all the radio, Sports Byline USA, all their affiliates, and SiriusXM satellite radio channel 159 as well, 10 Eastern every night. And luckily for us, we get a double shot with Gabe every day on C2C. And now, speaking of bad behavior, Gabe and I have done many of the same things in life on the bucket lists. And one of them has been drinking and smoking heavily at the U.S. Open. This is not important to our audience, but it's important that they learn these things. So we're going to tell them anyway.
I haven't been there, Scott. I haven't been there. That's the one thing. It's like I was talking about we were talking on SportsGrid last night. We were talking about college football.
Fail.
And somebody asked me, is there a game or a stadium you haven't been to that, you know what I mean, on your list? And I was like, I don't want to sound like a jerk and tell you I've been everywhere, right? But I was like, not really. Like, you know what I mean? The best I could come up with, Scott, and this would be fun. I think you and I would like this. I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind going to one of those Saturday night games in Eugene, Oregon. Just getting lit up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would be a fun time. You know what I mean? But I've been to UCLA, USC, Michigan. You know what I mean? I've been to, I've kind of seen it. But the U.S. Open, I was there, and I didn't go. And then there was the pandemic. It's the one thing I didn't do, Scott. It actually bothers me because I love to go. The U.S. Open's my favorite of all the golf, the Grand Slam events. And, you and Joe were just talking about the party there. And, dude, I went to the Davis Cup, Scott, which is like the best tennis players in the world. You know what I mean? It's like a big deal.
Right. Sure.
Like you said, bro, this is next level. Like I had supermodels sitting next to me. Yeah. Everyone's super friendly and stuff and like shiny Rolexes. Like I was the brokest person in the stadium, like point blank. I was like, I'm a talk show host. Nice to meet you. You know what I mean? What do you do? I'm a BMW salesman. I own 5 lots. You know what I mean? It's just, like you said, very friendly, Scott. I got the same thing. I'm like, this is Cougar Fest. It's almost like a Bon Jovi concert, guys. It's like, I don't like Bon Jovi. Well, if you like women, go to a Bon Jovi concert. Yeah. Like, it's almost like, well, you know what I mean? Rich divorcees and stuff, Scott.
I mean, to tell you.
Like, it's real, bro. No, it's like people go there to meet and, like, hook up and, hey, let's go out and have some wine after, right? Like,
it's crazy.
It's the upper class, man. It's fun. But how about this, guys? They're selling a drink there called the Honey Deuce. It's known as the best cocktail in sports. It's got Grey Goose, like grapefruit, lemon. It's like
It's got lemon. It's got yellow tennis ball ice cubes in it.
Yeah. It's awesome. So get this, Scott. They're $22 each.
Yeah.
All right. They're $22 each.
That's nothing.
They sold 450,000 of them last year.
Well, there's going to be over 1 million people that go. So listen to this.
So they made $9.9 million, and that's what they made. They made $9.9 million in just that drink sale alone.
I went to the Dead at the Sphere, and I paid $32 for a rum and Coke. 32, but well, let's just be honest, it was a double.
Yes. You know what? The Sphere is people. I see people, Scott.
Expensive.
No, I know, but I see people like, you know what I mean? Like the Commanders game the other night went viral. People took a picture of the Commanders prices when they were in line.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh my God, this is why I don't go. What? It was a little excessive. It was $18 for like a big White Claw. It was basically $18 a pop. $17 for a beer, $18. So it's $20, right? You know what I mean? There's kind of screwing at people with the tips, the 20, whatever. But Scott, that's the way it is. They're charging $9 for a bottle of water now in a Vegas hotel. Like, bro, like
Automatic.
People get shocked about prices. Oh, I can't believe it was $13. $13 for a drink. Well, what do you expect? This ain't 1982 anymore, guys.
Do you remember
2024?
Do you remember when Carver High and you were down in the sports book at the MGM, and you were at the table, the SportsGrid desk, and here comes Carver High and Ferrall. We got a 400-pound cooler full of beers. We had 300 cans of beer in the cooler because every beer you have at the MGM's $25. So you bring your own. You just go to town.
I'm going to be on Fremont Street this week, Scott, and this is the Vegas trick. And first thing you do, bro, first thing I'm doing, I'm heading to CVS/Walgreens.
Automatic.
Stacking up. I'm going to buy all my drinks, booze. Like, dude, I go through a lot of these cans, Scott. I said, I'm walking through the MGM, bro. I'm dropping $10 a pop for a White Claw, like at every sort of gift shop. Yeah, do the math. I spent like $200, on the casino floor when I could go to CVS and buy a case for $26,
Mafia
get
and
some ice,
Mafia
put it
and
in the room, and then walk around the rest of the week. Exactly.
We went to the lounge, and Mafia and I, we went to the lounge. We got there late at like 11:30, midnight. I said, let's get a cocktail. He gets a Bullet. I get I think I got a Jameson. And it literally, we had 2 drinks each, and it was
$60.
Like $200. My bill was $200. Avi and I split it. He bought me one. I bought. It was like $80.
No, you're right.
Like,
you go to the liquor store. You buy a bottle of vodka. You get your cans of beer, the White Claws, whatever you need. You get some Gatorades, a couple of snacks. You put them in the room, and then because that's how they make money off you people in Vegas. That's how they get you, right? You play the tables, play your slots, play your sports. They get you with the drinks and stuff. It's not the gambling. The gambling's a break-even thing for them. They want to get you in the building and then be like, yeah, you know what? The guy won. He thinks he's cool. Hey, he won $600 playing blackjack. Don't worry, that bald guy over there, he spent about $800 at the bar, right? So it's give or take. But I wanted to ask you because I've never been there, but I heard the steakhouse at the D is top notch.
It's the greatest thing ever. The Andiamo is honestly.
Yeah, Andiamo's. I think I'm going to go there this weekend.
Oh, you should. Andiamo's great. Now, Mafia hates when I say this, but I would also, I would say that restaurant I like better than my family, my wife and children. I like the restaurant better.
It's known as one of the top premier restaurants in Las Vegas, at the D, actually. Yeah.
Listen, here's the deal. You're going to be down there. You need to hit up Andiamo, and then you walk over to the Four Queens and eat at Hugo's Cellar, which is downstairs. And that place is old school mobster restaurant. You'll love it. Red and white tables, candlelit only, guys in tuxedos. Greatest place ever, that Hugo's Cellar and Andiamo. Those 2 places, you'll go back same week while you're there.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get 2, he gets the lot.
Adam should take at the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot of the 5th leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
All right, we're talking to the great Morency on Coast to Coast on a Terrible Tale Tuesday. Let's look ahead to, and by the way, I recommend doing those things. Believe me, I listen. I ate so much at that Andiamo, they told me to stop eating there. Like the management. Like my bill was so enormous at the end of the week. They were like, because I did shows there. You remember you did a show there?
Yeah. I remember. I remember you told me that after the show. You're like, I'm going to get a steak, and I was like, I was all lit up. I'm like, I'm going to get another one of these football drinks.
Yeah. So I used to eat there so much because I'd lived there for 2 weeks at a time, and I would eat there every night. The waiters would bring Mafia and I out, 3 waiters deep with trays full of, lobster.
Yeah, you guys were comp, so you were crushing it over there, right? You were trying to kill it. You were killing it.
But we killed it to a level where they were like, listen, just stick to the grill. You got to stop going down the other.
I swear to God, I remember Mafia telling you that night, sort of, listen, they kind of had a problem. We're racking it up a little bit too much.
Well, I don't care. Listen, I told him, I said, listen, I sell this place. No one on the face of the earth has ever heard of that place, okay? So here I am. I am selling that place.
You're doing a show in the middle of nowhere in front of a bar. Yeah, what do you want? Exactly.
Listen, I promoted that place like no other. I mean, I was Elvis for that place. I promoted that place like it was like you thought I was.
I had a good time that night, though. It was a fun time. CBS Sports Radio. I think it was the wildest show CBS Sports Radio ever had on their history.
You thought we were staying at the Four Seasons in Kauai the way I sold the D. So at the least they could do is give me a steak every night is the way I look at it. This guy's worth $25 billion. What does he give a rat's ass if I have a steak? I used to tell him, he'd get drunk every night with me. I'd say, dude, bro, what's your problem? Are you cheap or something with me? I'm eating steaks. I go, I want lobster, prawns, dessert. Anyway, we're still friends, but I haven't eaten there in a while. But I've eaten there 50 million times. Anyway, Thursday night, I got to get your action on these games. All right, NC State and West Carolina. The Missouri game against Murray State. Kansas against Lindenwood. What a tough matchup they got there. And then Southern Utah taking on the Utes, who are favored in the Big 12 this year as they leave the Pac-12 for the Big 12.
As you stated, the appetizers continue here. I'll tell you what, Scott, here's a random game. I want to get to the North Dakota State game, obviously, with Colorado. But New Hampshire against Central Florida. Listen, Central Florida like to run the score up. They got K.J. Jefferson coming in from Arkansas at quarterback. They're going to be a good team, but New Hampshire is one of the better FCS teams. Now, ironically enough, New Hampshire lost their quarterback to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, for the record. So they have a new quarterback, but that's a lot of points. Like, let's say Central Florida dropped 50. We saw Hawaii couldn't cover. Let's say Central Florida get to 50, which they could, but I don't, the 48 or whatever. All right. You're laying 40 points. Can New Hampshire give us 10 points? Can New Hampshire give us 13 points? I think they can. Underdogs went 4-0 against the spread in week 0. Doesn't mean that every underdog's going to cover this week, but just, that's a game that's kind of flying under the radar. An interesting was quick, Scott, is Florida Atlantic and Michigan State. That's on Friday, but Aiden Childs, the quarterback of Michigan State, who just came with Jonathan Smith from Oregon State, the new quarterback, he was asked by local media, Aiden, how you guys look? What can we expect? You guys look to set the tone against Florida Atlantic in the first game of the year. What can we expect to see from you and the offense? And he deadpan looked at him. He goes, I don't know if you bet or not, but if you do, bet on the over. That's what I got to say about the first game. So I'm betting the over. The quarterback told me to bet the over. I'm betting the over. It's only it's down to 45 right now, and Michigan State are going to have a much better offense. And then you got this Dion stuff all week, Scott. Listen, I think the guy has crossed the line. I think the media, there's a difference between asking questions and giving your opinion, right? And I think a lot of modern people, Edmonton Oiler media, do that. They're not asking questions. They're giving their opinions to the players, that's not your job. So if you're calling this, you want to rip Dion, fine. But don't be surprised if, he doesn't want to talk to you after, right? So, but at the same point in time, Scott, I got to wonder, like if you're Deion Sanders, you should be worried about getting into a bowl game and not worried about what the Denver Post is saying, bro. What do you care? Everyone in the media kisses your ass. So one guy doesn't like you and, you're all up in arms about it. And North Dakota State are the real deal, Scott, as you know.
It's pathetic that he can't
North Dakota
handle
State.
This guy from the Denver
Post. A local
Post.
guy, too.
All he does is manipulate the media his entire career since he was playing in Tallahassee. And now he can't handle some writer from the Denver Post. I think
they're all
pathetic.
bullies, Scott. Lincoln
and
Riley banned the
terrible job.
Lincoln Riley banned the student reporter last year, right? They're all thin-skinned, these guys, bro. They're demigods.
Whatever. Then don't
North
be
Dakota
a
State plus the
football
point.
coach.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
Play. That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
He shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
Scoop Mish, Craig Mish from Newswire. Thank God we haven't had him on in a minute, and we got him on today. Can we start with the picture that I said? Now, that is clearly Dodger Stadium, and that is clearly Scoop with a 30 block on of sunblock, and he is just copping state. Like, look at him getting raised with the pink shirt on. That was at the Ravine right there, Scoop.
That was the All-Star game from a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, accurate.
I mean, you look fantastic. Hey, so your son or your daughter, I was just telling you, my son left to go to San Diego State, and your daughter, you dropped her off at UCF. How depressing is that? Like, what year is she there?
First year.
It's even worse. It's even worse.
Couple of weeks ago, drove by the football stadium. There's a parents' weekend coming up in September, so I think at some point we'll go back up there. But yeah, man, that was one of the stranger moments, just like saying goodbye for now. It was kind of weird.
It's awful. So I will tell you a secret. So mine went for his sophomore year, and he left. Now we do hang out and watch sports, and he likes action on games. Let's just say, and he's really good at it. But the thing is, when I took him for the first year, San Diego's a long flight from New York City and an expensive one. So when we took him the first year, I went out there and dropped him off, and I stayed and vacationed for, 7 days or something. But then they had that parents' weekend, and I told him, I said, listen, I don't love you that much. It's like $10,000 to fly out there for that SEMI parents' weekend. And then, so this year, my wife said to me, goes, we should think about going to parents' weekend. I go, no kid in college. Here's a tip for you. No kid in college actually wants their parents to come to parents' weekend because it's so cheesy. Walking around with all these other parents on the campus, and none of the kids want them there. They want you at your hotel so they can go party. So I don't go to the parents' weekend, Scoop. I don't do it.
It's next weekend, first weekend of the NFL too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I
would
don't
never
know.
leave that for that.
This is like a negotiation. It's a life negotiation on this one.
I tell her to have a sandwich. I'm not. You go. Then I'll sit here and watch football. All right. I have to tell you, watching Judge hit all these home runs. I know I'm homerized milquetoast. I know I'm in New York, and I'm stuck up. But I got to tell you, watching this guy hit home runs, we've seen it before when he hit the 62. He's going to do it again. I mean, he's raking every night. If they throw a bad pitch, he knocks it out of the park every time. It really is unbelievable what he's doing. Ruth, Mantle, DiMaggio, the numbers, Maris, all these guys, Soto and Judge are going to be remembered like those guys. It's that simple.
Yeah, provided Soto comes back. I mean, we assume that. We don't know that for sure. But look, when Judge is healthy, he's been the most dominant hitter in the game. It's just a matter of health. And so I guess I would stop short with some of those names that you mentioned only because we just don't know what this is going to look like 4 or 5 years down the line. There's really not a lot of historical reference for a player this big in stature lasting that long in Major League Baseball. They just don't. It doesn't happen. They break down. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen with Judge. I mean, a prisoner of the moment right now, watches what he's doing is incredible. But to put him in those categories, I would guess he's still got to play 5, 6, 7 more years at the minimum. And if his body holds up, yeah, he'll pass those numbers of all those guys you mentioned.
What about Ohtani? What do you think that pitching will do to interfere with his talent with a bat and on the base paths?
I don't think he's going to pitch this year, but if he pitches next year, yeah, the stolen bases would be the only thing that would go down. I don't think you want your guy stealing 50 bases and then pitching in 3 days. And look, I've maintained this forever. Is that, Scott? I mean, imagine. I mean, you're a big baseball guy for many, many years. Imagine growing up in the 80s and the 90s, and you and I are doing a show like this anywhere. And I say, Scott, there's going to be a guy that's going to be a pitcher. He's going to be a hitter. He's going to be the best hitter in baseball, and he's going to be a good pitcher too. I would say, Scott, how many years does that guy win the MVP? You'd say every single year that guy plays. How is there even a debate who is the most important player maybe in the history of Major League Baseball? So for me, I name Ohtani. I mean, he didn't pitch this year, but every year that he pitches and hits, he is the MVP of Major League Baseball, AL, NL, everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm really not. You and I remember Jeff Conine, certainly in 97, right? So now his kid's playing down there and you're covering him?
Yeah, and remember, Conine came back, Scott, you were around. He came back in 2003 also to win that World Series too. So he's got 2 World Series championships. And Griffin Conine was traded to Miami, I believe it was 5 years ago, from the Toronto Blue Jays, who drafted him in the first round. And he's just been sitting in the minor leagues. And at times he has crushed the ball. At other times he struck out a lot. But as you get older, there just comes a point in every organization where I think the organization says, hey, let's just give this guy a shot. Let's see what he can do. I mean, he's been here long enough. And so that's where they're at with Griffin Conine. He pinch hit last night. He struck out. He's going to start one of the next 2 games. I don't know which one. I haven't seen a lineup today. But he'll finally get his chance to play. And Scott, as you know, no matter what happens over the next month, maybe he's great, maybe he's not, you can never take away the moment that family got last night. That was great.
There's no doubt about it. Now, listen, I have to ask you about this De La Cruz guy from the Marlins. So when we got him, the Pirates, meaning my team, team got Brian De La Cruz, and he had 18 home runs. And everyone thought they were getting this bat. And he hasn't hit one since he's been in Pittsburgh. I mean, is that what I should have expected? Can you believe that?
No, I've talked to people with the Pirates. They're surprised. They did not expect that. You know, it's funny. You look back on it now. They didn't really pursue Jazz Chisholm that hard, Scott. But I think that would have been the better bet for them, probably.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to guess with De La Cruz, it's just a matter of him being in Florida for most of the time over the past few years. It's just a big adjustment for a player like that who's not from this country. I think he'll be okay next year. I have nothing to back that on or base that on, but I am stunned that he's been playing as poorly as he has since he's come over. He's done nothing.
So let me ask you about the Kansas City Royals. Does this remind you of when they won the series? This team is really good, and they swept a doubleheader in Cleveland yesterday. Salvi went off. Witt went off in game one. Salvi in game two, 6 RBIs. If they win tonight, they're tied in the Central, and they will have caught the Guardians. Do you feel like they're good enough, like they were when they won the World Series a few years ago, that they could do it again with this team?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they're definitely what I thought they would be. It was funny. I was on with Ben this morning on the early line, and that was my best pick to go over the total in 20. And they did it last night. They went over the total already for their season total for the season. Scott, they made a lot of really good moves in the offseason. They added some pitching. They backed up the bullpen. I think their hitting is good. I think their pitching is good too.
It is.
7-game series. Going into the ALCS and the World Series, that seems like a tall task, but they're going to make it. And just like everybody else, I think people underestimate the Major League Baseball postseason. Scott, it's a tournament now. There's 12 teams. What's the difference in the NCAA tournament? Everybody's got a shot to win. Texas and Arizona last year?
I mean, Arizona could go back again this year. They're the
Maybe.
top wild card. I think Arizona and the Padres are 2 teams I don't want to play.
Arizona is dominant with the stick, man. I mean, they are just hitting the you-know-what out of the ball. They have 2 or 3 really good starting pitchers. They're probably going to need a little bit more if they're going to go deep into the postseason, but there's no question. I like Arizona more than I like San Diego heading into the postseason.
I was supposed to be in San Diego for the Twins series a couple of days ago, but I didn't go with them back to college because I'm like, this is going to cost me $10,000. I don't love you that much.
Crazy.
Have a nice flight. I'll see you later because I love going to Petco. And they're hot. Scoop, love you. Good to see you.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get 2, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot of the 5th leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the hockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
coast to coast. Don't forget to get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android. It's free. Follow your favorite hosts like Joe Ranieri. It has everything: scores, stories, highlights, videos, in-game odds, you name it, it's on there. You can watch the network. You can listen to the network. It's all available for free on the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android. I think you're going to dig it. Go check it out. The Yankees beat the Nats last night, Joe, 5-2 in D.C. 12 hits for the Bombers. Chisholm, his 8th home run in 18 games played with the Yankees. Judge gets his 1,000th career hit in the game as well, but that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about this play he made on the Yes Network. Listen to this.
Drives it in the air, deep left center. Judge leaping, and he made the catch. Oh, Aaron Judge, what a play. He does it all, and there's the double play. Send him to Monument Park now. My goodness.
There you go. This guy does it all. How about the relay throw to Glaber Day, and then they get the runner picked off at first base, the double play? It was something else.
It was unreal, Scotty. The only question I had, because it happened so quick, was did he really catch it over the wall, or would it have bounced off the wall? But once they slowed the replay down, that glove was clearly over the wall. That was a home run. Instead, it was a double play. Just etch his name into the MVP trophy now, and let's stop this.
So the MLB Players of the Week had a New York state of mind. Look at this. Aaron Judge and Lindor are the Players of the Week. You got to admit, what Lindor has been doing for the Mets is pretty impressive, and it kind of goes unnoticed. They don't even talk about him that much in New York. Like when I watch, like every night I'll have dinner and I watch the news and I see the local sports. We actually have sports here on TV in New York City still, and they always talk about Aaron Judge. They don't talk about anyone else ever.
Yeah.
Like, they might talk about Jazz Chisholm when he's hitting home runs in his first few games with the Yankees and getting people all excited, but then they revert right back to Judge, and they show Mets highlights and they show Lindor hitting home runs, but they don't talk about it. They just mention it like it's no big deal. It really is unbelievable how he doesn't have any juice here.
No, and it's unfortunate. I think the same argument can be made for Bobby Witt Jr. He's stuck in a small media market in Kansas City. If it wasn't for Ohtani and if it wasn't for Judge, we'd be talking about a handful of other guys a lot this year, especially in the MVP conversation. Him being one of them, and I think Bobby Witt Jr. being the other one. They're having incredible years, but you can't get past the Ohtani and Judge headlines.
It is crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? So Dylan Cruz, the number 2 pick in the 23 draft, made his debut for the Nats last night and went 0 for 3. Eventually, he's going to figure it out. We were mentioning the Royals. I was talking about him with Scoop and you. They beat him 4-3 in Game 1, the Guardians in Cleveland. And then in that game, Melendez, a 3-run homer in the 4th with the solo shot in the 8th, is 27th. You had talked about yesterday how much of a badass this guy is, and he doesn't get any juice either. I thought he got some all-star game juice, and everyone was talking about how great he is, and we've talked about him on this show with his odds for MVP. He's not going to get the MVP. He's not even going to get close to it. He'll finish second, and it'll be a mountain to climb to catch Judge. It's not happening. But you know what I want to see? I don't care about awards. I want to see them go on a run in the postseason with that pitching staff and with Witt. And then in the second game, we said it. Salvi, we got it right here. Here's the Grand Slam breakfast, part of his 6 RBI night in Game 2.
3-1 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left center. That's way back. And that's gone. A Grand Slam for Salvador Perez. And the Royals lead it 9-4.
Listen to them booing him. They're booing him in Cleveland. They're blowing that central lead is why they're booing him. They've been losing a lot. Do you realize, what are they? Are they something like 1-15 in double headers? 0-8. They've lost every double header they've been in. They've won one doubleheader game. They get swept every time they play. If I would have known that, I would have never bet on Cleveland.
They are crazy. Since June 25th, Scotty, at June 25th, the Guardians had a 10-game lead. 10 games over Kansas City, a 9-game lead over the Twins. They've gone 24-31, and now the Royals are just one game behind them, and the Twins are right there. It's total collapse for a team that had the best record in Major League, in the American League at home. Now they can't buy a win. It's unbelievable.
Well, are you going to start betting against them? I think it's time to finally, bet against them, fade them, and go with Kansas City and Minnesota. I tried to do Minnesota last night. I got burned at the oven. But Kansas City, do you think they're capable with that pitching staff of going on another World Series run?
No, not this year. Because I do think they have the same problem that the Guardians have. I think the Guardians have been far too reliant on that bullpen, Scotty, to get them where they are. And what I'm seeing from that bullpen is now they're starting to run out of gas because they don't have the starting pitching. And I don't think Kansas City does either. I think Kansas City far too reliant on the starting pitching with no bullpen, and they too are starting to run out of gas.
So when we come back, I'll play this crazy ending to the game at the bank last night with the Phillies that JoJo Embiid was at. But the Astros today, it appears, have reached an agreement with Jason Hayward after his release from the Dodgers this week. And do you think that's a good deal for them, or do you think he's going to be what he was for the Dodgers, which was nothing?
Well, listen, he's probably going to be a spot player for them. Depth matters. They know it. And everybody that seems to come to Houston, Scotty, figures it out, don't they? For some reason, it's kind of crazy.
It is. So we'll hit that Phillies game with them last night and what happened in the game. And we'll look at the rest of the baseball with Joe Ranieri.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
He shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the hockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
right, so last night we were talking about, Joe, this Phillies game, and it ended with a walk-off, 3-2 Phillies over the Astros in 10. Bryce Harper drives in Schwarbaum with an RBI single and extras to win it on the Phillies Radio Network.
Josh Hader against Bryce Harper here in the bottom of the 10th. First pitch, ground ball through the right side. It's a base hit. Schwarber around third. He's coming home. The throw from the outfield is late, and Harper wins it on a walk-off over Josh Hader here in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Phillies win it 3-2.
I won't deny, Joe, that they're good. And it's still hard to beat the Astros. I mean, they had to go to extra innings to do it at home. The Astros are no joke. They were down to Seattle the whole season, caught them, passed them, lapped them. They're going to win the West. They're going to the postseason. And they're not going to be fun to play for whoever they play.
No, it's once again, Scotty, their timing is impeccable. They're playing their best baseball heading into the postseason, and that's a scary proposition. And that was the second inning they brought Hader out for, by the way, because he also pitched the ninth. So they kept him out there in the 10th, and he couldn't get it done. Both teams got to use 9 combined relievers in that game. That's worth noting when you're looking at tonight's game a little bit later on who you think might have the edge in the starting pitching here. But Houston, well on their way to another postseason being dangerous.
The Padres did what I thought they would do last night, go to Busch and open that 4-game set with a win. And I bet it and cashed 7-4 San Diego. Here's Jackson Merrill. He's trying to get the Rookie of the Year from Paul Skeens, and every day it seems like he's taking it right out of his hands. He drives in 2 with his first RBI single of the game on the Padres Radio Network.
3-1 to Jackson Merrill. Gibson delivers. Jackson swings, lines it into left field and a base hit. Profar has scored. Machado's being waved. Burleson comes up throwing. The tag is not in time. 2-run single, Jackson Merrill, and a 4-1 Padre lead.
He had 3 RBIs, 3 hits. The guy's unbelievable. Let's look at the Rookie of the Year odds shift of where it was. Look at 2 weeks ago. Look at last week. And look at today.
Yep. Kind of crazy, Scott. Well, and that's just that. You know what that is, Scotty? That's a position player versus a pitcher. A guy that plays 6-7 days a week versus a guy that plays once every 5th day. And out of sight, out of mind with these things. And this kid is just absolutely crushing it. But another guy, because of Ohtani out west, that nobody's really talking about.
It's crazy. I think, you know, even Scoop Mish said he's not that worried about San Diego, and I think he should be.
They're getting Tatis back, Machado, Profar, this kid, the starting pitching, not great, but that bullpen, Scotty, is lights out. So starting pitching's got to go 5-6 innings, and your bullpen can hold them down. I think they're a very dangerous team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Padres signed catcher Elias Diaz, the 23 All-Star Game MVP, to a minor league deal, by the way. The Braves outslugged the Twins 10-6 in Minneapolis. Fried went 5 innings, 7 strikeouts. Bailey Ober, 2 innings, 9 earned runs, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Olsen and d'Arnaud with home runs for the Braves. Olsen had multiple RBIs in this game. I think he drove in 5. Here's d'Arnaud hitting a 2-run shot in the 2nd inning on the Braves Radio Network.
Travis d'Arnaud trying to keep it rolling. Pitch on the way to Travis. And he swings and belts one deep down the left field line. That's a fair ball and a home run right inside the pole. And it's a Braves avalanche here in Minneapolis. 9-1 Braves.
So I got to tell you, I don't care. I don't believe in that team. I don't buy them to win anything. I really don't. I just don't think they're consistent enough. They win big one night, lose the next 2 nights, win, lose 3, win 2. These other teams go on these tears and go 22-6. The Braves don't do that.
I just think that they've lost too much, Scotty. I mean, if they think about all the guys they've lost, if they were healthy, we'd be having a different conversation. But Kudos to them for not throwing the towel in, but I think the injuries are catching up to him.
We're going to go next to our boy Clarence Hill Jr. with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram to talk Cowboys again as they're ready to break camp and head to Dallas to start the season.